Hey guys, Mike here. I decided to make a video today. It's Sunday, and we're just about to roll over. And a few things came up. So the first thing that came up was, without much ado, right? Without further ado, was a question by one of our mastermind guys, one of the mastermind members. His name is Andrew, and he asks, Mike, why is Bitcoin turned on? He means in the system, right? In the Cryptonaissance report. When Ethereum has a higher relative strength. Well, yes, that's why we traded Ethereum this week. But how did we arrive at this situation, at this decision? Because we didn't really change the system. What we did was, which we never want to do, what we did was we jumped ahead a little bit because we knew what was going on. That's kind of what you sometimes want to do with a discretionary system that rolls over on a weekly basis. Because the other way is to have you guys jump in and out every other day or something, and we really didn't want to do that. And I don't think we would do ourselves a favor on various other fronts, right? The system would get too busy, etc., and a lot of people would also get confused. And I don't want to sit here all day and or hire 20 guys to sit there and answer questions. So, and a weekend system is really all we needed to really extract as much Bitcoin from this crypto bull market. But sometimes there's a little bit of a finesse that's necessary. And let me show you why last week we decided to go with Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin. As you know, there are 4 seasons with Cryptonaissance. Like in the real world, we have cash, which is basically the period when we're not trading, clearly. Right? We're not trading. Why? Because the system is great, but the market sucks. And the only way to win in a situation like that is not to play. So that's cash season, right? We're out. We're not trading. We're just, we're sitting tight. We're keeping our powder dry, so to say. Then we have Ethereum or Bitcoin season. Well, let's turn it around. Bitcoin or Ethereum season, right? That's kind of the natural inclination of the system. The target, the goal of the system of Cryptonaissance is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. That's really the core tenet of the system. And to that extent, we're always trying to be in the instrument, in the cryptocurrency that is conducive to that goal, right? That expedites that and gives us that extra beta, right, on top of the market alpha. The market alpha is the crypto market, right? Bitcoin in particular. For me, Bitcoin is the crypto market at this point. I know it is debatable. A lot of people are not going to like this, but the average schmo out there, not crazy guys like us who trade crypto, but the average schmo on the street, if you ask him about crypto or her, well, it's going to be Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing, right? Very few people are talking about, I don't know, what is XRP doing, or, what is Luna doing? Do you only find it in very special, groups, and it's very limited. That's a very limited perspective, not a limited perspective, but it's a very limited slice, a small slice of the trading community, and let alone the population. So Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is really our goal. We believe in Bitcoin. We want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And there's times when Bitcoin is the best instrument to hold. Why? Well, especially when Ethereum is underperforming. When Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin, like, for instance, here on the left side down here, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but if you direct your attention to the left side of this chart, you see, when the short term, which is, this line here, this moving average, is below the longer term, the slower one, that's usually when Bitcoin is underperforming Ethereum, right? Ethereum is underperforming. It's because of the Ethereum Bitcoin cross. So it's Ethereum underperforming Bitcoin. Don't want to confuse you. So again, one more time. Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin in this case, correct? When it swings above, these are times when Ethereum is overperforming. It's performing, better than Bitcoin. Clear, right? And then there's these periods in between where it kind of swings back and forth. Well, as you might have guessed by now, that's where we were. That's where we were last week doing the rollover. And both Scott and I, Scott Phillips, who also runs his own trading community, in case you didn't know, we looked at this and we said, well, it's about to pop over, but it might not. So we might still be in Bitcoin mode officially per the script. And actually, let me show you this. I actually had it open here somewhere. Where's the script? Yeah, here's actually my script. I'll move this away. That actually renders this, right? This is a little Python script, and it uses Glassnode, right? And it does basically look at the seasons, it makes certain decisions based on whether or not we're in alt season, Bitcoin season, for instance. Officially last week we were still in Bitcoin season, and we knew that we would soon pop into Ethereum season, probably a day or two later. We actually, I think, popped into Ethereum season the day after the rollover. I think it was Tuesday. And that's why we made this adjustment, because of the market really clearly pushing that direction, Ethereum clearly being strong at that point, right? Overperforming, just like Andrew said, right? One of my mastermind guys. So he was spot on, and that's why we went into Bitcoin, Ethereum. Okay, so that was the first thing. I hope that clears that up. If not, shoot me a message, but I think that should, it's a pretty simple system. That's really how the cookie crumbles with Cryptonaissance. We are investing basically in Bitcoin if Bitcoin is stronger, and we're investing in Ethereum if Ethereum is stronger. And then there's altcoin mode. And also, let me get to that, because something very beautiful is happening. This is actually the script, the Glassnode script that we're running. It's a bit of Python code here. I went crazy. That's what happens when I go on modafinil. And what it spits out is basically the seasons, right? For instance, this is what happened. This was Ethereum season first. That was in July, and then here we were, see that in here, Bitcoin season. Now look what just happened. Altcoin season. Yes, baby, we're back. So we're back in altcoin season officially, unless I don't know, if the market melts down in the next few hours, then we might switch back into either Ethereum or probably Ethereum season. But from what it looks like, we're back in altcoin season by the rollover. And that brought up another topic, so that's why I'm making this video. The topic was, let me switch to yet another script here. Right. Don't really know if you guys, that doesn't make any sense to you, but I was chatting with Scott and we talked about the system, and we debated this today. You understand that during altcoin season, the entire goal is to invest in coins, altcoins, shitcoins, so whatever you might want to call them, which are ahead of the market, or which are leading the market. This whole principle about, like in fund trading, that you are looking at the ones that pop up the head first, and doing in the recent past, not exactly right now, but in the recent past. And if they start to be leading, those are the ones you want to invest in. There's a lot of, if you look up Fama, what was his first name? He got the Nobel Prize in, for this, for basically stating that in terms of the only market inefficiency that he could find was really that those leading symbols, issues, right? He wasn't talking about crypto, he was talking about stocks in that context. Always seemed to be poking their head out first. And that was some kind of anomaly that he couldn't really exactly factor into his model, but it just always played out to be true in a vast majority of cases. And that's why we introduced this into the system. So, and if you watch the webinars that we filmed before we started opening up Cryptonaissance, right, to the public, you might recall that the coins are not always the same. It's not always the same coins. It's like when if you compare that with, let's say, the dot-com bubble. That goes way back. I'm that old, unfortunately. Dot-com bubble. There were certain symbols that were great, Yahoo and stuff like that. And it wasn't even Yahoo back then, right? That was 2008 bubble. If you go further back, right, there were all kinds of dot-com. I can't even remember anymore. Maybe it was Yahoo was part of that, but there were a lot of symbols back then that really were maybe, I don't know, that were really hot and that everyone was riding higher. And then in 2008, it were different set of symbols, right? And today it's different set of symbols, right? There was no Amazon. Amazon was around 2008, but Amazon wasn't a hot symbol yet. It was a good symbol, but it wasn't a stock that that was really hot back in 2008 yet. Similarly to Google was kind of up and coming as well, right? But Google wasn't really on the map in that respect in 2000. So the selection changes, right? The leading ones change, and it can happen quite rapidly, and especially in the crypto market, which is quite nimble. That's one way to put it, right? It's let's call it what it is. It's quite volatile, and the selection of coins, altcoins, that is really leading seems to fluctuate a lot, right? It's really a group. It's like a horse race, and then they get tired and they die, or they just kind of settle in wherever they are, and then another set comes, and that's kind of where we are now, right? We are getting into a different. This is another stage of this bull market, right? If you're looking at, I don't know if I can draw. It's really small here, my little circle. But if you look at this was the first leg, right? We get this nice little correction, and then boom. This is what we're expecting now. The wave wankers would call it the third wave, right? 3 of 3. Okay, don't quote me on this, guys. But it's basically we're anticipating big moves here. But those in altcoin season, these might not be. There might be some of them from the previous leg up that will be kind of spearheading, right? That will be up front and leading the rally. But there's a good chance that some of the ones which are just popped out their heads, and that's what Scott was actually tracking over the last few weeks. Where and when, that's something I can cover another day, but there's some nice ways how to track that, coin stats and stuff like that. But that said, what we looked at were a bunch of coins which were leading. Maybe actually I have this open here. Let me take a look. Okay. See if I can do this here live. I've moved everything away. Down here. Okay. And I might still have this open. So let me put this here. Okay. Let me switch over to. I think I'm going to switch to Scott's. Nope. I didn't want to do that. All right. Leave this alone. Yeah, that's Scott's chart. He doesn't want us to touch him. See these coins here? So we collected that. This one here. I don't know how to move this damn thing. Oh yeah, I can. Huh? It's gonna kill me if I mess up his layout. I'm using his account because I'm a cheap bastard. No, I cannot move this around. So, and I don't want to mess with this chart because I might not live to tell the story. So, as you can see, Luna, right? FFT, UNI, VAT. Some of these symbols we already had in our list. So what I did is basically I created a cross section. I added those to our strategy here, where it's gonna basically use the shared ones. Oops, I don't know what I just did here. Oops. Okay, don't screw this up. So I added this to the script, these hot coins, and they're going to compete neck on neck with the shared symbols that we usually use, which is like, I think 30-40 symbols that are shared between Bittrex, Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance. Right? These are the 4 exchanges we're currently focused on. We might change that in the future, but for now that's what it is, and it gives you a nice cross section that most people have no problem with. So this brings us two things. Two things. The first one is that there might be coins in the listing that when it does a rollover tonight, assuming we'll remain in altcoin season, which we effectively are right now, but we roll over only once a week. So tonight we would, based on what it looks like we're going to roll into altcoin season, and the system is going to spit out a bunch of altcoins to trade, to hold, right? So you probably are going to sell Ethereum and exchange it for whatever the altcoins are whatever the altcoins are. The system will pick. I don't know which ones it's going to pick yet. The system has to run. And so there might be some altcoins in there that are not in your exchange, and that could be a problem for some of you guys, like it was with XRP, right? For some of you US traders. Now, I've kind of accounted for that already with the interface, because I made behind the scenes while we were all getting our asses kicked in the last few months, last 2 months. I made some changes to the script because I'm not completely useless and had to earn my keep, right? And I introduced a way to actually deselect up to 2 coins. So there's two ways how to address this. If you see a coin in the lineup that you cannot trade in your exchange, well, the obvious alternative is to go to a different exchange, if that is an option, right? Open an account with a different exchange and buy the coin there. Scott also told me about Sushi and Uni. These are like these kind of swap meets, right? Uniswap and Sushi Swap, I think, if I remember correctly. You just told me about this today. I wasn't aware. It's kind of a swap meet where you can go and exchange coins. I haven't signed up yet, so I don't know anything about it, and I might try it this week, and then maybe I do a video about it. But otherwise, just go to a different exchange and then open an account there and trade those coins. Make sure they're available. If you cannot find the information, okay, email me, and I can actually pull that information on my end. I have some fancy scripts here that I can run here in my Python thing, in my cookbook, in my little recipe book here, right? That show me exactly what the coins that each exchange supports. But don't send me 100 emails, please. Just only if you cannot find any other solutions, right? And so the other thing that you can do, of course, is to so there's three things actually, right? If you think about it, go to a different exchange, right? That's number one. Number two, go to Sushi or Uniswap. Okay, you can do that. Number three, actually, and I've built this into the system as I hinted, you can actually turn off coins, and that also automatically adjusts the distribution. I've limited to 2 that you can only turn off. 2 coins you can turn off. That means you would be trading only 3 coins. I put this in to make your lives easier, right? Because sometimes you might not have an option, and then like, okay, my math is wrong, and you're sitting there, tuck, 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 trying to figure out exactly what distribution is, and you're panicking and whatever, So I want you guys to have smooth cruising, and so I put this in so that you guys can deselect, and I hope it works because I only tested this in Q&A, and I haven't tested it live yet, but it should work. And if that happens, then deselect the ones you cannot trade, and it will adjust the distribution, right, into whatever, quarters or thirds if you select, if you actually turn 2 off, right? So a fifth, fourth, and then thirds, quarters and thirds. Okay, so that's kind of it. I hope that makes sense. I didn't want to dig up. I have a demo here somewhere, but you'll see tonight. So I hope there's no any issues with it, because otherwise I'm going to get wrung out of bed again. But I think that addresses most of it, right? Okay, guys. If you have questions, okay, send me a message. But it's Sunday. I'm not exactly, I'm going to actually hit the gym now, and after that, kind of kick back. But if there are any issues, okay, maybe that's something I should throw in. If anything was wrong tonight because of rollover and anything, we actually never rolled from Ethereum into or Bitcoin into alt season. Remember, we started with alt season, but I've tested the hell out of this script, so it should just all work fine. And show that we need to sell Ethereum on the bottom, and then show the new coins. Some of the coins might not have icons yet because we just added a few new coins, and I still have to cut the icons and make it all pretty for you guys. So don't let that distract you. It works fine. And if anything breaks or anything doesn't work properly, don't panic. I will know about it in the morning. There's no rush. I will fix it. And if nothing else, if I for some reason cannot fix it that same day, then we just keep holding Ethereum until it's fixed. It's really not that crucial, right? Even if everything goes completely wrong, and I need several hours to fix it, and I put up, and I run my scripts on my end, and I email you guys, or I put it on, the chat client, then it will still be, soon enough. Any time on Monday is fine. There's no rush. You don't need to sit there, wait for the rollover, counting seconds and okay, I gotta trade right now. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you get a better fill, sometimes you get a worse fill. Okay, some of you new guys, a bunch of new people signed up over the weekend. So just so you know, read the FAQ, frequently asked questions, and so to kind of get an idea of what we're doing here and how we're doing it and what to look out for. But the one thing I don't think is mentioned it is that it's really not that time sensitive. Anytime you want to go and take your trades. I could be at midnight if you insist, or if you're like a night owl like me, I'm a coder. But if you're a early riser, do it then, or even if it's 10 a.m. in the morning, it's not a big deal. A lot of times, sometimes you get a better fill, sometimes you get a worse fill. It really averages out over time, my experience. Yeah, okay, and that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Gonna make more of these videos to kind of keep you guys ahead of the game and informed, and so everything makes sense. Maybe save myself some admin chores, right? Writing emails all the time. Okay, talk to you later.